point. They're not built to come back, and we need to figure out why they were unprepared, why they looked so sloppy in the first half, why in the blink of an eye that game was a disaster yesterday. Jonathan Gannon now falls to 3-12 against the NFC West in his coaching career. He's now 0-6 against the Seahawks. Overall, sporting a record of 15-28. And I saw it on social media yesterday. Everybody using yesterday's game as an opportunity to dunk on those out there who want to blame Kyler Murray for everything and saying that the game would have been better if Kyler Murray was under center. Yesterday's game is about one person and one person only. Yesterday's game showed to the world you have the worst coach in the NFC West. You might have one of the worst coaches in all of football. That game can't happen. That game can't happen when your season, your future is on the line. That game can't happen against a division rival. This is not just some run-of-the-mill blowout in the middle of the season that you just throw away and you say it doesn't mean anything. This is a Seattle team that you have not been able to beat. They have owned you since you got here, JG. They came into your building earlier on in the season, dominated you in the first half. You made it respectful in the second half, but you did not play well in the first half of that game, and you lost at home. This was your chance to get a little revenge. This was your chance to build some momentum off of what happened on Monday night. And you were unprepared. You weren't ready to play. Your game plan for Seattle's defensive line wasn't good enough. It was 21-0 in the blink of an eye. The game was over. And so today, I don't want to break down the game. I don't want to break down the X's and O's. I don't want to break down the box score. I don't want to talk about Jacoby Brissett and the offense's underperformance. I don't want to talk about the defense. I don't want to talk about any of it. I want to talk today about the head coach. Because I said it going into the bye week, what the final 10 games of the season were going to mean for me. What this show was going to do with those 10 games. It was an evaluation of the coach. It was an evaluation of whether or not he should have the keys to the franchise to pick another quarterback. After yesterday, how can the answer be yes? How is it not that we are spending the rest of the season talking about whether or not he should be back? Where do you see the results? You don't see it overall, 15-28. You don't see it against Seattle, you're 0-6. You don't see it against the rest of the NFC West. It's 3-12. In no other sport does winning your division and playing well against your division matter as much as it does in football. 6 of your games are against your division rivals. One of those division rivals you don't have a win against. The others, you have 3. How are we supposed to believe this is the right guy for the job? Doesn't have the results, had the team unprepared yesterday. Producer Evan and I played the game in the pre-show meeting. We went through the rest of the NFC coaching. Would you take this coach or Jonathan Gannon? And you know where we got to? He's probably 13th or 14th in the NFC in terms of coaches right now. So you have the worst coach in your division. You're not even on the same playing field as the coach who played yesterday and Mike McDonald, excuse me. You're not even on the same playing field as that guy who's only in his second season. I don't even think I need to say it out loud, but he's not on the same level as Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. You're the worst coach in your division. And most of the time, you're like, okay, when you got Kyle Shanahan, who's been to a couple Super Bowls, when you have Sean McVay, who's won a Super Bowl, when you have McDonald, who's an up-and-coming team, has the best team in the NFC. That Seattle team is the best team in the NFC right now. Should be the favorite to go to the Super Bowl on the NFC side of things. Sorry, producer Ev. Team is playing incredible football over the last couple of weeks. You are 4th in your own division, but then you widen out. You would take him over Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll just got fired this morning. You would take him over Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore just got there. Name me the NFC coaches right now that you would take Jonathan Gannon over. Brian Daboll, who's no longer in New York. Kellen Moore, who's only in year 1 in Seattle. Dave Canales? Give me Dave Canales, who's doing more with less Has Carolina in a playoff spot? Has Carolina in the position that the Cardinals are supposed to be in this season? Carolina plays above their talent level. The Cardinals play below their talent level. Who is that on? That's on the head coach. That's on the culture. That's on the preparedness of this team, which was lacking yesterday. So that's what I want to talk about. All day, all week, the rest of the season. I don't want to break down Jacoby Brissett's performance. I don't want to break down how poor the offensive line was. I don't want to break down how Marvin Harrison Jr. had the drops in the first half. We could maybe shine a spotlight on how great Trey McBride is. We could do all those things. It is a worthless exercise when I have this many questions about the head coach. You can't win your divisional games. And I'm the guy who came on the radio at the end of last year and tried to convince everybody that they played well in the division, that they played well at home. They were starting to build a home field advantage. They were starting to punch above their weight a little bit in the division. They were starting to be a little respectable in that regard. Completely out the window. All the good vibes we had on Tuesday, all the good vibes we had on Wednesday, winning in Dallas, sticking with Brissett at quarterback, thinking that, okay, this coach understands the situation that they're in, completely gone. All of it. Gone in a flash. Gone in 15 minutes on Sunday. It was gone before the second quarter started. It was over. And I'm watching the rest of that game, and I'm asking myself, is this the guy that should be here for a year 4? And that's the only question I have out of yesterday. That's it. I don't want to talk about anything else. In hour number 2 of the program, we're going to talk about the injuries that stacked up because this could go from bad to worse. But the only takeaway that I have from yesterday's game, I don't think the Cardinals have the right coach. I don't think the Cardinals have a top half in their conference coach. That's where I'm at today. How does that happen? How do you get embarrassed by a division rival? By the way, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but giving Seattle the ball to start the game didn't seem like a great idea. Went right down the field, scored 7-0. You turn the ball over on your first possession. It's 14-0 before you could even breathe yesterday. You are not designed to come back from that. You have a defensive-minded coach who likes to run the football, control the time of possession, trust the defense to make stops. You're down 14-0 before you've run your 4th offensive play. You are never coming back from that. So, yeah, you showed some fight in the second half, and yeah, you turned those turnovers into scoring drives. I don't care about any of it because I am back to square one with this coach, and we're in year 3. We're about to approach Thanksgiving of year 3 for this coach. And I'm back to square one. That should tell you everything that you need to know about what his future should be here in this town. I'm out. O-U-T out on this coaching staff right now. And Jonathan Gannon steps to the podium after the game and says, no, we don't need to make any changes. You just got embarrassed by a division rival. And that's the answer. That's the answer you give to the podium. And I know he took responsibility. I know he didn't blame the players. He took it all on himself. You're right. It is on you. Because yesterday's game is about being unprepared. The strip sacks were all because their game plan for Seattle's defensive line was the wrong one. Allowed free rushers way too much in that game yesterday. Your game plan wasn't good enough. And in year 3, if I am questioning your game plan, you're not the coach. You are not the person that should be given the keys to draft a franchise quarterback. That's where I'm at today, producer Evan. That's how I feel on a Monday.
There's nothing else to say. They were woefully unprepared to go up and play a division rival, a team that, by the way, you haven't beaten now in 3 years.
2021, I believe, is the last time that they've beaten the Seattle Seahawks.
That's the conversation we're having. He's been outcoached in, I mean this, 10 games this year. 9 games. Sorry, they've played 9 games. They're 3-6. He's been outcoached in all 9. All 9. Give me one day where you were like, wow, Cardinals had a great game plan today.
It might have been the Dallas game on Monday. That might have been the only one because
that's the only one. You're right. You're right.
Even against New Orleans and Carolina, they almost gave those games away in the second half. Their game plan in the second half wasn't good enough. Their execution in the second half wasn't good enough.
So 8. So in 8 games, he's been outcoached. I think you're right. I think the Dallas one, they had a better game plan, and they were better coached that day. But you're behind them in the standings. I mean, you're in the conversation of the Falcons, the Commanders who have lost their quarterback, the Saints, the Giants who just fired their head coach. That's the group you're running with.
And I knew this was going to be a hot topic to open the show. Over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, our good friend Brian says, I think you're being a bit too harsh with JG. Keim's years of ineptitude left the cupboard bare. Murray's terrible. Should have never signed the extension. Going to take years to dig out from the hole. Now, Monty and Jonathan Gannon didn't sign the extension. I don't put that on them. Again, I said earlier last week that if they stuck by Kyler, then it was on them. They made the right pivot. They made the right decision. And then Kyler gets placed on the IR so they don't have to deal with this quarterback controversy. I understand the argument that Keim left the roster in bad shape. This isn't year one, everybody. That's an argument after they go, 3-14 their first year? I can accept that. New coach, last regime, you need to get your guys in here. You need to give it time. This is year 3. All we talked about all offseason long, how great of an offseason they had. Signing Josh Sweat, who's a great player. And he's having an impact for this team. Had an impact on Monday against Dallas. Had an impact in that game yesterday. Bringing back Calais Campbell, who every week seems to be the player who plays the hardest and is doing something every week for this team. Their draft picks, Paris Johnson Jr., stalwart left tackle. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. Trey McBride was a selection of the last regime. You cannot tell me that there isn't talent on this football team. They picked Jacoby Brissett to be the backup quarterback. That's the guy that they wanted to raise the floor, and it was the right decision. He's a good quarterback. He's not a quarterback designed to come back from 14-0. We need to stop treating this regime with kid gloves. This is year 3. They no longer get to blame the last GM and the last coach for the state of the roster. They've had 3 drafts. They've had 2 off seasons, 3 off seasons, where they've brought in players to help turn this roster around. Every single starter on the offensive line is somebody that they brought in.
Every single one.
I think so.
Every single one.
I think every single one is somebody that was brought in here after JG and Monty took over. The starting quarterback, a player that they picked. The starting left tackle, a player that they picked. Wide receiver, player that they picked. Look at the 5 pillar positions, okay, that we talk about on this program. Quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, corner, edge. 4 of the 5, the player that you would put into that bucket, somebody that this coach and this GM picked. Left tackle, Paris Johnson Jr. draft selection. Wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., somebody they selected. Edge, Josh Sweat, a guy that they identified and they paid, and it's the biggest free agent contract that they have given out. Corner, which player do you want to pick? Will Johnson, Max Melton, Garrett Williams? I know 2 of those 3 didn't play, but whoever you want to put in there to fill the 5 pillar position taken by this regime. This is not about Steve Keim. This is not about Cliff Kingsbury. This is about Jonathan Gannon having his team unprepared yesterday and through 43 games now as a coach, not being anywhere close to good enough.
My biggest thing is if your argument isn't, well, he builds a great culture, what's your argument? And if that's your argument, let me fight against you because they're not innovative. They're not exciting. They don't really do anything defensively where you're like, wow, that's a top 10 defense in the league. How about last year? You build a culture. You know what cultures don't do? You know what good cultures don't do, Chris? They don't fall apart. I've seen this culture fall apart one too many times. How about last year? They come out of the bye, going into it. They win 4 in a row. They get to 6-4. Talking about having a playoff team by week 10, 6-4. They come out, they lose 3 in a row, 2 of which to Seattle in a span of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then you beat New England, who was terrible. Then you lost to Carolina, lost to the Rams. I mean, it was an unforgivable collapse last year. But you know what? He's in year 2. Okay. I mean, what redeeming quality has this team shown you all year long? You fell apart in New Orleans, but you held on. You fell apart against Carolina, but you held on. You couldn't get a first down in San Francisco. You came out woefully ill-prepared for the Thursday night game against Seattle at home. You fell apart against Tennessee, gave them their only win of the year. In fact, not only their only win, their only competitive game they've played all year long. You go up to Indianapolis, Maybe play your best game all year. Couldn't get it done. You lost that one. Packers couldn't get it done. Not good enough. Cowboys, by far, the best you have looked all season long. All season long. And then you come out after a shorter week because you played on Monday night and got punched in the face. And again, against the same team in your division that you played at home and were ill prepared for, were again ill prepared for. Not only is that not the first time you were not ready to play Seattle, but it's so much worse because in both games, you got smashed to start the game.
Are you ready for the argument ender? Are you ready for the thing I want all of you to think about today? If you're still considering Jonathan Gannon getting a year 4, if you're considering Jonathan Gannon getting a swing at getting his quarterback in the 2026 NFL draft, this to me is the argument ender. Producer Evan, I want you to do some math for me. You don't need a calculator for this one. I think you can do this on the fly. What's 9 plus 6 plus 3?
18.
18. You know what that number is? 18 is the number of wins that Brian Daboll had in his first 3 seasons as the head coach of the New York Giants. 9-7-1. They won a playoff game. He was the coach of the year in 2022. Then he went 6-11, 3-14. He had 18 wins in his first 3 years as the head coach in New York. They decided to stick by him going into year 4. They decided to allow him the keys to pick a quarterback, and they traded back into the first round to take somebody in the 2025 NFL draft in Jackson Dart, and 10 games into year 4, he's out. Jonathan Gannon has 15 wins through his first 3 seasons. He needs 3 more wins to match Brian Daboll's total through 3 years. Do you know what Brian Daboll has that Jonathan Gannon doesn't? A playoff berth, a playoff win, a 9-win season. And Brian Daboll, 10 games into year 4, just got axed by the New York Giants. If you think that the results that you've seen through these 2.5 seasons warrant him coming back for year 4, you are setting yourselves up to follow the exact same script that the Giants just did with Brian Daboll, yet you're going to have less results than they did. Think about that today. For those of you who are still thinking that Jonathan Gannon deserves a year 4, think about that today. Think about what happened in New York and think about the numbers that I just shared with you. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program, and we'll have plenty more on this as the show moves along. When we come back, it was almost a perfect weekend for the Phoenix Suns. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Maricopa County Air Quality Department encourages everyone to burn cleaner, burn better. Consider converting your existing wood-burning fireplace to gas or electric. And please remember, on no burn days, do not
first.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers, it's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit frysfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Jim, I'm here with your Rome Report. Although I did post it on X last night, I think it bears repeating right here. Never again tell me that bad football is better than no football. Of course, I'm talking about that garbage we saw last night in Denver. Listen, we all know the Thursday product is always going to be inferior. NFL teams simply are not built to recover and play on short weeks. This is not an original thought. I know. We all long ago lowered our expectations for TNF. Again, thinking that bad football is still better than no football. But I'm here to tell you, I would have rather have done just about anything at all other than watch that game last night. Believe me, I have a lot of regrets in my life, but watching that game is right near the top of the list. And contrary to popular opinion, there is actually such a thing as bad sex, bad pizza, and yes, bad football, because that right there was some of the worst football I've ever seen. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here for the Lowe's early Black Friday deals? You're right on time for some of our biggest savings. We're talking up to 50% off select major appliances, plus up to an extra 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Holiday lights going up soon? Select ladders are up to 50% off right now. Get Black Friday prices without the Black Friday crowds. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 11/19. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We've got the NFL Rewind coming up in about 8 minutes or so from now. I had to take a collective deep breath there in the break, producer Evan. I was fired up. I mean, I sit down on my Sunday to watch this team play against the Seattle Seahawks, expecting at least in some capacity to see a competitive football game. Maybe not win the game, but play a division rival competitively. Show me that you're building something off of your win on Monday night. And instead, here we are once again questioning the coaching, questioning the direction of this organization. And we're not making it up out of thin air. The numbers tell you that things are not trending in the right direction. You know where things are trending in the right direction, though, producer Evan? How about the 9-seeded Phoenix Suns right now, who, if the playoffs started today, we're around 1/8 through the season, they would host a play-in tournament game against the Memphis Grizzlies. 5-5 through the first 10 games of the season. A very impressive start, all things considered. By the way, on pace for 40-plus wins with their 5-5 start. So well over the 30.5 total from Vegas. Well past their number from last year. Arrow trending upward. You want to be excited. You want to take a massive victory lap today if you're maybe the gentleman on this program who kind of saw this coming, expected this team to play a little bit better than most thought. You want to do all those things. It's kind of hard to, because you beat the Clippers again. Yeah, there's a chance now that if you beat New Orleans tonight, You're going to go 3-1 in this stretch that I believe in a buy or sell last week, producer Evan outlined as a possibility. You're going to get above 500 if you win this game tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. But unfortunately, you can't get too excited because Jalen Green re-aggravated his hamstring injury. And it looks like it's going to be a month and a half at least that the Suns are going to have to do this without Jalen Green. And now listen, they've played 8 of the 10 games so far without him. They've been able to win without him. And I think if they get Dylan Brooks back and they get some of these youngsters, their draft picks involved, that they should be able to continue to do exactly what they've been doing through these first 10 games. You did see, in at least the first game that Jalen Green played, the difference that he could make. You saw the floor raising of this team. And so it's disappointing that you're not going to get to see that. And I think what really frustrates me is more so than the number of wins, more so than the results, more so than them being the 9 seed in the Western Conference. You just want to see progress. You want to see development. You want to see growth. And for the next month and a half at least, not going to have Jalen Green as a 23-year-old developing with the rest of this group, developing in this system, being a part of the growth that this team's trying to undergo. Every single game this year is an opportunity for growth and development and moving that arrow upwards. And Jalen Green now for the next month and a half is not going to be a part of it. Remember the feeling that we all had at the start of the season? Yeah, things are great, or, oh no, this was a bad performance. And we said, yeah, but just wait for Jalen Green. It felt like it was an incomplete. We're not going to do that while he's out. This team's just going to have to forge ahead, and we're going to have to evaluate them for what they are right now, and they are still a good enough basketball team to win games. They're good enough to beat New Orleans. By the way, I don't know how much ahead you've looked in the schedule, producer Evan, but I have it here in the studio. You play at Dallas on Wednesday, you can beat Dallas. That team stinks. That team's not very good.
No, looking at their schedule, they have an opportunity to string together a couple in a row here.
We're going to add some W's to the list here. 2 in a row. It could be 3 in a row. It could be 4 in a row by the end of the week.
You got New Orleans tonight.
Got Dallas on Wednesday.
You got Dallas on Wednesday. The Pacers aren't good. You have the Pacers at home on Friday, Thursday.
Second night of a back-to-back. You're traveling back from Dallas, so I worry a little bit about that one.
Okay, but even if they don't string that together, that's 4 in a row.
I mean, we are around 1/8 through the season. 10 games in of an 82-game schedule, right? How do you not feel great about what you're seeing? They're 5-5. They're in a playoff spot. Exactly what you would ask for. Probably above what you asked for. You just wanted to watch competitive basketball, fun basketball, entertaining basketball. They're doing all of that, and they're getting the results. They've won 4 of their last 5.
Got one on the road last night. Or Saturday night, sorry.
John says the Suns are still a streaky team, lose a lot, win a lot. That's what this year's going to be. The chunks of their schedule where they can win some games, I think they're going to rattle them off. Then when they play some teams that talent level matches them or is above them, they're going to struggle because they're a young team trying to figure it out. That's what this year is going to be. But I'm over the moon. I can't wait for tonight's game. They should be able to beat New Orleans. Come in here and talk about a team that's 6-5. All 500 in a playoff spot. Enjoy it. Enjoy what this is, because we didn't have this last year. We didn't have this level of enjoyment. It's unfortunate Jalen Green's missing because you really started to picture after the way they played against the Clippers with Jalen Green. I think there are some of you out there that started to convince yourself this team could be maybe more than you thought. They could be the surprise team in the West. Dallas isn't playing well. Memphis can't get out of their own way. You saw opportunity with Jalen Green healthy alongside Devin Booker, the way it looked in that game against the Clippers. What was it, Thursday night? You started to convince yourself, man, the floor of this team is higher. And if they all hit their ceilings as a young group, if Jordan Ott gets this team going quickly, you started to dream. And that dream kind of got dashed a little bit, but still a lot of talent, a lot of opportunity. And the value of these games still exists. Each of these games, an opportunity to get better, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity for these young players to develop and set this team up accordingly for year 2, year 3 of the Jordan Ott era in Phoenix. Almost a perfect weekend. Jalen Green stays healthy. Perfect last couple of days for the Phoenix Suns. From Thursday up until today would have been absolutely perfect. The injury kind of dampers the mood a little bit. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, the NFL Rewind. We go around the NFL, recap all the games from yesterday. We'll do it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0 going to the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
I'm Angela Gonzalez, reporting from Phoenix. We're talking with the community about Phoenix Police Department. Ma'am, what do you think?
Oh, I love them. They're our local heroes. We've had some problems around here with break-ins and people using drugs on the streets. The police work with our community to have a presence in our neighborhood and keep our streets safe.
Thank you, Phoenix Police.
Gracias a la Policía de Phoenix.
Thank you, Phoenix Police.
Rise to serve. Find more today at joinphxpd.com. Protect and serve with the elite.
Sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
This holiday season, elevate your event at Talking Stick Resort. From breathtaking views and a world-class golf course to 113,000 square feet of flexible event space, every detail sets the stage for an unforgettable holiday party. Whether it's cocktails under the stars or a fully produced banquet with state-of-the-art AV, Talking Stick has it all. Plus a luxurious spa for next-day recovery. Secure your celebration today. Talking Stick Resort, Scottsdale's premier destination for celebration. Life well played.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger. In my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month. And I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Call today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to the championship. One of the youngest, I think the average 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan team, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hottest takes in the Valley. Buy or sell coming up in about 10 minutes from now. We go around the NFL. It's the NFL Rewind. And I already know where we're starting. We had an overseas game, so we're starting in Berlin. We hand it off to the tour guide of the NFL Rewind, producer Evan, who I don't know if I missed the memo. He's not wearing a hat today. Kind of came in dressed more formal. I would have matched your energy if I would have known that.
I don't know about formal. I'm in a t-shirt and a flannel.
Yeah, but most of the time you've got a ball cap on, you've got a hoodie on.
It's fair.
Jeans. It was a different look today. I'm not saying it's a bad look. If you would have given me the memo, I would have joined in. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, the NFL Rewind.
We start in Berlin. Did you get up early?
Yeah,
because if you didn't, you missed a good one.
No, you missed a terrible one.
An overtime thriller, and the Colts get it done. They win by 6, not 6.5, but 31-25 on another unbelievable day from Jonathan Taylor. 32 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, all on the ground.
Another great day to be a Jonathan Taylor fantasy manager. Another great day to have Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy team like I do. Not a great day to be somebody who held a 3-point play on Indianapolis minus 6.5. And you want to talk about how much of a bad beat this was. If the Colts win the toss, start with the ball, and score the touchdown, they have to kick the extra point, which would put them up 7. I would have 3 points. But because the Falcons got the ball first, didn't score, and then the Colts went down and scored, apparently kicking the extra point is a formality that the NFL isn't interested in because they had to get on their planes to come back here. So I didn't get the extra point. Colts win by 6 instead of 6.5, and I'm out 3 points.
But the Colts moved to 8-2.
Yeah, whatever. I'm out on the Colts, by the way. OUT out.
That's classic. Colts, best team in the AFC. The Giants.
No. We'll talk about the best team in the AFC in a little bit.
The Giants head to Chicago, where we saw some flurries. The Bears put together 14 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win this one 24-20.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why Brian Daboll got fired today. If you're just joining the show and you didn't hear this, Brian Daboll fired by the Giants today. Think about the leads that they had. The big lead in Denver. The big lead in this game. They had a lead against the Saints that they gave away. And that's just off the top of my head games that they gave away this season. So, as a coach, you've given away all those leads. And now you got Jackson Dart hurt in this game with the way that you call the plays. And now if Jackson Dart's not around, really, I think Brian Daboll's saving grace was developing Jackson Dart. Well, if Jackson Dart's hurt and is going to miss some time, there's no point in having Brian Daboll around. So they fired Brian Daboll today. There's no real benefit to it. They're not getting a jump on other teams unless they're trying to get a college coach. But other than that, this doesn't really – they just felt like they needed to make the change.
I think they thought they needed to make the change. I think to have your young quarterback sit in a room with a coach that you know is not going to be the answer next year, at what point am I making it worse?
Well, if Dart was healthy and continuing to play, he was looking good with Daboll calling the plays and running the offense,
and
right?
Yes, but you have a coach who is now running him because he feels as if he's coaching for his job. Now he gets hurt.
Right. And now it's like, well, I don't need Brian Daboll here to coach up Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
I can get a jump start on evaluating if Mike Kafka should be my coach now.
That is the exact answer.
Because I do think he's going to be somebody that they consider. He's an offensive mind. And if he does a good job here down the stretch, they may consider him for the job.
Will certainly be some consideration. Bills played the Dolphins in Miami in the shock of the day. Dolphins controlled this thing throughout. They won it 30-13 in a rout of Buffalo.
The Bills had like 100 turnovers in this game. Every time they went to the game in red zone, the Bills were coughing up the football. Every time. Josh Allen fumbled. I forget who it was out in space, just literally lost the football just into the air. I mean, that's how you lose to a bad team. You just turn the ball over. You limit the number of possessions you have. The Bills are too talented to lose that game yesterday. But turnovers evened it out.
Just feels like they have no weapons on the outside, too.
It feels like they should have traded for somebody at the deadline. Certainly they tried to. Tried to trade for Jalen Waddle.
Tried to trade for Chris Olave.
Tried to trade for Quinnen Williams from the Jets. They were trying to improve everywhere.
Apparently they were very active.
Didn't
get anything
Didn't
done.
get anywhere, but they were very active. That's the ultimate.
Interesting to see them active within division, right? Trying to get Jalen Waddle, trying to get Quinnen Williams.
Why would pay the extra
either
tax
team do that? Yeah,
for those players.
Ravens.
Oh, baby.
Head
My
to Minnesota
from a couple of weeks ago is aging
and get it done
perfectly.
Ravens win this one 27-19 on the road in Minnesota.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago. We had an overreaction Tuesday where I said the Baltimore Ravens would win the AFC North. Baltimore Ravens have now won 3 in a row. They are 1 game back of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who lost on Sunday night last night. And they have 3 very winnable games the next 3 weeks before facing the Steelers on December 7th. The Steelers schedule, collision course for 2 7-5 teams to fight for the top of the AFC North. By the way, did you see who returned to practice today for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Was it Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow out there at practice today for the Cincinnati Bengals. So
makes things interesting.
Makes things interesting there in the AFC North.
The Browns traveled to New York.
J.J. McCarthy stinks, by the way. That's the other thing.
J.J. McCarthy, not good.
Not good.
The Browns traveled to New York to take on the Jets. Jets special teams.
Oh, baby.
A bright spot
Look
in
out.
a big win.
Look out.
27-20 Jets.
The New York Jets won a football game in which their starting quarterback went 6 of 11, and they had 50 net passing yards. They won the football game. They got 2 special teams touchdowns. They got a huge screen pass to Breece Hall, and they had the Cleveland Browns on the final drive. The Jets had the ball 27-20. The Browns had the Jets stopped on 3rd and long, committed a penalty, defensive holding, gave the Jets an automatic first down. The Browns had them stopped again. The Jets went out there on 4th and short. No world where the Jets are snapping the football. No chance. They go hard count. They get the Browns to jump. Offside, free 5 yards on 4th and 1, game over. Browns gave the game away.
It was the most Browns thing of all time.
Oh, it was brutal.
The Patriots flew down to Tampa and took care of business. A 28-23 win for the Patriots over the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield with quite the performance. Not enough to get it done, though. Patriots took it.
I'm going to steal this directly from Mike Vrabel. NFC South champs, the New England Patriots. They beat every team in the NFC South. That's the best team in the AFC. Spoiler alert for later on in the week. That's going to be the highest ranked AFC team in the Schubert scale. 7 in a row, went down to Tampa, played a really good Tampa team, and won a football game. In the rain, pouring there in the second half. Drake May, did you see that dime that he threw down the field, 54-yard strike?
It was a great throw.
The best team
Both
in the
quarterbacks
AFC.
were awesome in that game.
This pains me. The best team in the AFC, the New England Patriots.
The Saints played the Panthers.
You want to talk about this one?
In an NFC South matchup.
It's a tough look for you.
Saints get it done. Tyler Shuck looked solid. 19 of 27 for 282 and the 2 touchdowns. A 17-7 win for the Saints in Carolina, sending the Panthers to 5-5.
I will cede my time to the Panthers expert here on the program.
It was tough. It's a tough day for the Panthers. It was not Bryce's best day. Listen, it's hard to string together 5 in a row with your starting quarterback. They weren't able to get it done. Saints took advantage. Thought the Saints played decently well, actually. Tyler Shuck made some solid throws.
Just can't lose at home to that team. Right?
You can't.
And that's really
the difference.
Yeah.
That's why they're not ready.
And I'll tell you, we may get to the end here and they missed the playoffs by 1 game.
And you're circling that one.
Circling that one. Yeah. I think you circled that one already because you know how this is going to end. That's painful. That one's tough.
That one hurts.
That one hurts, yes.
The Jags-Texans game provided late fireworks in a game that we thought was completely controlled by the Jacksonville Jaguars before the Texans scored 26 in the fourth quarter and beat the Jags 36-29.
I had the Jags defense in fantasy.
So did I.
So I'm watching it, and early on, I got 21 points from my defense. I'm feeling great. I check it in the second half. Got 13, 15 points from the defense. I'm like, this is great. I put the phone away. Watching the Jets, I flipped over to the Cardinals, right? I didn't have red zone on. All of a sudden, I see on social media, what happened at the end of the game? What happened at the end of the game?
A lot. I mean, the Texans were moving the ball at will. Trevor Lawrence, gosh, he has these flashes of greatness.
He's getting traded in the offseason, isn't he?
I think so, too. I really think so, too. I think Liam Cohen knows. It's not his guy.
He may be wearing green next year.
In New York?
Yeah.
What about red?
Oh, here? Oh, could you imagine? I know everyone wants to trade Kyler Murray to another Florida team, but what if we traded him to Jacksonville instead? Wait a second, you might be onto something. Could you? All you need for that to be a reality is for Liam Cohen to think Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. That's it. If he thinks Kyler Murray's a good quarterback and he thinks Kyler Murray works in that system, game, set, match, you could pull that off. Wow. That's something. We are so behind. We're going to have to rapid fire through the rest of the day.
But that was the game of the day.
Yeah, that was something.
Into the late window, the Rams took it to the 49ers in Santa Clara, 42-26 final for the Rams.
The Honda Civic's back in the shop. We were back on the road we're back in the shop. We got to work on some things.
He was 33 of 39 for 319 and 3 touchdowns.
Played well.
It actually was not on him.
It was not on him, no.
Lions headed to Washington, took care of business. 44-22 Lions over Commanders.
This was the lock of the century. The only reason why I didn't take it as a pick is because you had it as a 2-point play. Dallin had it as a 3-point play. There was no benefit for me to have it my 1-point play. I would lose out on points. Lock of the century.
And the Sunday night game. Steelers flew across the country, played the Chargers.
Did they?
On Sunday night. They lost 25-10 to the Chargers, who looked pretty good defensively.
I turned the game on, doing some stuff around the house. Score is 3-2. Like, oh, Pirates over the Dodgers.
I was going to say that is the game that the Steelers wanted to play at 3-2.
Oh, yeah, 3-2 was certainly a game they wanted to play. Yeah, the Chargers might be good. They're one of those teams I'm still not sure about. Steelers, I'm starting to worry. They're leaving the door open for the Ravens in the AFC North. Yeah, it's Steelers have to get hot here because the Ravens are hot, and the Ravens are setting up for that December 7th game. Those two teams still meet up 2 more times. They have not played each other yet this season. Those games are going to be the difference when there's just one game separating those two in the AFC North. That is your Week 10 NFL Rewind. When we come back, the hottest takes in the Valley, buy or sell. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs. Intentionally, they've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus, Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
The year-end sales event is going on now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0% APR on all 2025 Mitsubishis.
And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't cost yourself $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. On approved credit, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and this holiday season, I want to give back. So for every home I buy, I'll donate $1,000 to St. Jude. By now, you already know I'll buy your house for cash in any condition, and I'll beat any other offer. And now by selling me your house, you can help out a family at St. Jude. So let's get your home sold quickly. Call me, Andrew the Home Buyer, today. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
NAU Lumberjack basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join NAU men's basketball as they hit the road to take on the Wildcats of the U of A. Coach Shane Burkhart is ready to show what his team can do on the court and score a win down in Tucson. Join Mitch Strowman on the call live this Tuesday night. It's NAU versus the University of Arizona. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. and tip-off at 7 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
All right, the 2-minute drill version of buy or sell here. Hottest takes in the valley. Producer Evan puts them together. I really have two choices. I have to buy it or sell it. What do you got today, my friend? Show has flown by. Mainly because we went like 10 minutes over in the first segment yelling about the Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon. I'm not surprised, but the first hour of the show flew. A lot of baseball in hour number 2. We're opening hour number 2 with a story from Bob Nightingale this morning in USA Today, kind of getting everybody ready for the MLB offseason. Ketel Marte may be on the move here.
That's what we keep hearing.
That's how we'll open hour number 2 of the program. How about that for a tease?
The Suns will stay around 500 while Jalen Green misses time with injury.
Certainly hope so. Devin Booker's playing great. Feels like Dylan Brooks, what he provides defensively will help. It's a day that ends in Y, so I'll say it again. How great is Mark Williams? I mean, just how
awesome.
great. How great is he?
Yeah, he's really awesome.
He's great. And I think what encourages me the most about this start, and for others, it's a worry, seeing nothing from the young guys. Nothing. We're still only 10 games in, so I'm not worried about it. I'll be worried more when we get to like Christmas. Imagine you start to get contributions from those guys as well. So yeah, I'll buy. I'll be optimistic here on Monday. Certainly the football team's not giving me reason to be optimistic. The basketball team is, so I'll buy.
There's probably nothing Jonathan Gannon can do from now until the end of the season that makes you think the Cardinals shouldn't move on from him.
No, I mean, he could win out. He could win out and they could be impressive wins. And I could see a team play better in the fourth quarter. I could see a team that's prepared for their division rivals. They've got what? One game. They've got 2 more divisional games left.
Yes.
Can I see some competitive fire in those games? Can you win one of those games? Can you win a couple games you're not supposed to win here in the second half? You have less wins. You've got time. You have less wins than Brian Daboll did after his 3rd season. You need 3 wins the rest of the way. And I'm using him as a comparison because he just got fired. And he got fired as he entered year 4, where they made a quarterback change and they drafted a quarterback. Does that not sound like, if you look into the crystal ball, where the Cardinals are going to find themselves here in the spring?
You have 3 division games left.
3. You haven't played the Rams at all yet.
Niners this week, and then you have 2 against the Rams.
I forgot they haven't played the Rams at all yet.
I don't see them winning one of those.
I know, but you need to go 2-1 to impress me in the division.
In all seriousness, they could lose every division game.
They could lose every game the rest of the way if they play like they played yesterday. How do you have confidence going into any game the rest of the season after what you saw yesterday?
You don't. The Cardinals still need to add a wide receiver 1.
Oh. No, they have a wide receiver 1.
Trey McBride.
His name's Trey McBride. I think whoever the coach is, I think you're going to see an offense like Kansas City has, like San Francisco had when Ketel was at the height of his powers. Baltimore with Mark Andrews, where that's the number 1 target. That's the guy who gets the ball. He's scoring in the red zone now. He's putting up
monster numbers. Do you know what all of
numbers.
those guys have? And
they have good quarterbacks?
I mean,
they have good
great,
coaches?
like not great quarterbacks.
Also, great coaches. The 3 teams Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid, John Harbaugh. So you have to figure out the coach thing and the quarterback thing. What do the Cardinals not have figured out right now?
The coach or the quarterback?
The coach or the quarterback. I'll buy. I'll sell. They have a wide receiver 1. His name's Trey McBride.
I mean, he was awesome yesterday.
Yeah,
he was actually the
only bright spot. Bright spot.
The only good thing for them all day
and
was Trey McBride.
And you've got him locked up. You gave him the contract extension. So he's not going anywhere.
The Cardinals will only win 1 game the rest of the way.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I really don't. The emotion of yesterday makes me want to buy this. I'll sell it. I do think they're a talented enough group to win some games. They're not going to have as many turnovers early and dig themselves early holes. They'll be able to find some wins. Emotionally, I want to buy, but I'll sell. Hour number 2 of the program coming up next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
For so many families across the valley, a trip to the grocery store can be stressful thanks to the rising cost of food. And with the government shutdown, many of these families that rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, are suffering from it. Thankfully, St. Mary's Food Bank, the world's first food bank, is right here in Arizona, and they are here to help. But they need your help too. Visit KDUS1060.com for a list of ways you can help our neighbors in need, from volunteering to donations to helping you and your family get the food you need to get through this. Because together we can make a difference.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Come visit the all-new Wecopa Casino Resort, formerly Fort McDowell Casino. Whether you're visiting for slots, table games, the Valley's favorite bingo hall, golf, or food, our new smoke-free casino resort is the place to be. Enjoy a fine dining experience like no other at Ember, or go for the lively crowd at WKP Sportsbook and Bar. Wecopa offers 2 top 10 golf courses in the state, and the resort with heated pools and cabanas is the perfect place to relax. Come experience Wecopa Casino Resort today. At Wecopa, we have the best of it all.
'Tis scratches season, and all through the state, the Arizona Lottery is giving people something to celebrate. Grab your friends and gather round for the chance to win $250,000 with Cash Countdown. Peppermint scented candy cane cash is available at any Arizona Lottery retailer in a flash. Gift these and 4 more games for any reason, because there are more than $80 million in prizes this season. This year and all, we wish you a happy holiday. From Arizona Lottery, love the play.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey.
What's up? What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us. Chris Schubert with you. Producer Evan on the other side of the glass. I thought that today we would start with a story that I'm going to get to now later in the week from Mike Petrelio over on MLB.com, ranking all 30 MLB teams with their current rosters going into the offseason and where the Diamondbacks stacked up there, and kind of showing how much work they have to do in that regard. We'll get to that story probably tomorrow, maybe later on in the week, because this morning, Bob Nightingale, MLB insider over on USA Today, put together a story that producer Evan, you want to talk about a story that was made for this program and made for us? The title, 10 biggest MLB hot stove questions from top free agents to the latest trade rumors. And that story's just made for us.
Yeah, that was written for this show.
And that's made for this program. But hidden in that story, hidden way down towards the bottom of the 10 questions, Bob Nightingale Question number 9, who's on the MLB trade block? Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez, starters in Minnesota. Hunter Green of the Reds. Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s name on this list. Sonny Gray from the Cardinals. Christian Walker from the Astros. Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. Freddie Peralta from the Brewers. Mackenzie Gore from the Nationals. All these players. Jarren Duran from the Red Sox. And then just right there in the middle of it all, who's on the trade block? Arizona Diamondbacks all-star second baseman Ketel Marte. Now, all right. I think I told everybody that we were going to go through this again in the winter, that his name was going to pop up, especially with what happened during the season. So this shouldn't come as a surprise. I wasn't surprised when I saw his name. He's a popular name. He's a great player. Everybody knows the Diamondbacks are kind of strapped for money. They're trying to fill a bunch of needs. Ketel Marte is a player worth trading for, so you're willing to give in order to get. It makes sense. Not surprised that his name is in there. What surprised me was the blurb, was the words used by Bob Nightingale to describe why Ketel Marte was a part of his list here of who's on the trade block. Quote, the Diamondbacks will ask for a lot in return. I'll just stop right there. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so that if you're trading a player of Ketel Marte's caliber, silver slugger, not making a lot of money, best second baseman in the game, I sure hope that you would ask for a lot. Okay, we'll continue. The Diamondbacks will ask for a lot in return, but they are definitely motivated in moving him with $71 million remaining through 2030. Hold on. Definitely motivated in moving him? That is a very definitive stance there from Bob Nightingale. That's a very declarative statement. The Diamondbacks are motivated to move him, meaning that, to use our often used example on the program, they're not answering the phone. Kind of sounds like they're dialing out. They're picking up the phone and they're dialing numbers. They're trying to move Ketel Marte and the $71 million that's owed. Nightingale goes on to say that if they don't move him by mid-April, he gets 10-5 rights and then has a full no-trade provision. So if you get to April, the middle of April, and you haven't moved Ketel Marte, then you need his approval to move him. Now, I don't think that would be a problem, but it does create some hurdles. It does give Ketel Marte more power to dictate where he could go at a trade deadline or in an offseason. He could really be picky and choosy about where he ends up. But you owe him only $71 million between now and 2030. You owe him $71 million over the next 4 seasons. That's a drop in the bucket for a player of that caliber. He's the best offensive second baseman in the sport. He puts up MVP caliber numbers. I know. He's not a perfect player. I know. Had his issues during the season. I know. Doesn't always play. I know. Didn't play well in September when the team was kind of fighting their way back into it. Again, not a perfect player, but a really good player. Dare I say, a great player. And a really good / great player that you are paying average player type money, slightly above average player type money. Producer Evan, I need a calculator. I can't do this math. What's 71 divided by 4? Because that's what you're paying him. You owe him $71 million.
17 3/4.
You're paying Ketel Marte, the best second baseman in the sport, best offensive second baseman in the sport, maybe the best overall second baseman in the sport, less than $20 million a season. Jordan Montgomery on a 1-year deal got more money than that in an AAV. This is one of the best bargains in the sport contract-wise for what you are getting in terms of value, even with all of the flaws that we've talked about at length on this program. So to hear Nightingale say that they are definitely motivated in moving him, I was taken aback by that today. I was kind of shocked reading that this morning. That makes me wonder, do they feel like Ketel Marte is their ticket to getting the big name starter? Do they feel like trading Ketel Marte is their ticket to filling multiple holes on the big league roster. I don't think I need to rehash the list with everybody of what this team needs to accomplish. But perhaps, other than trading Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo, which is not happening, Ketel Marte is the only player where you can fill two of those holes. Because if I'm answering the phone, if I'm Mike Hazen and somebody's calling me about Ketel Marte, I need a big league starter and a big league bat. That's where it starts. That's where it starts for not only one of the best players at his position, but one of the best bargain value contracts. You want that contract? You want one of the best players at his position? It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a big league starter, and it's going to cost you a bat that I can fill elsewhere. Because maybe there's faith in Tommy Troy or one of the other prospects playing second base next season. Maybe the Diamondbacks feel that, yes, Ketel Marte is great. Yes, Ketel Marte is an incredible value. But with the limited resources that we have, turning Ketel Marte into a starter and maybe an outfielder, or a starter and maybe a younger player that can fill in third base or second base or a DH is a better use of my resources. And the money I save on Ketel Marte, $17 million, maybe those two players I acquire add up to $8 million, $10 million. I can go out and sign a reliever. I can go out and sign another starter. I can go out and sign an outfielder. It frees up some resources. Perhaps that is the thinking. We know that the Diamondbacks are going to have to get creative. They're going to have to get smart to fill all of these needs. Maybe they think instead of trading a Jordan Lawler to fill one or two of those holes, they go this route. Maybe that's what they're thinking. That Ketel Marte trading him and still having a young core of Gabby Moreno behind the plate, Geraldo Perdomo at shortstop, Corbin Carroll out there in the outfield, Blaze Alexander, who I think is a nice young player. Jordan Lawler, still don't know what he is. You have some young pieces. Tommy Troy, Waldschmidt, who I think could be a contributor next year. I'll continue to say it. Maybe you feel like keeping those prospects and trading Marte to fill some of those holes is better than keeping Marte and trading some of those prospects because of how old Ketel is, because the value that Ketel is going to fetch. And maybe you just don't want to deal with the noise that surrounds Ketel Marte. Perhaps maybe there is still some lingering effects from what happened during the season. Not saying I'm endorsing it, not saying I would do it, just trying to put myself inside the mind of Mike Hazen and the Diamondbacks as to why the phrase definitely motivated to move Ketel Marte popped up in a Bob Nightingale story today. Because if this is happening less than a week or a little over a week since the season ended, we may be just at the beginning of this rumor cycle. Maybe just the beginning of the noise surrounding the Arizona Diamondbacks this offseason.
Yeah, it feels like we're going to hear about this pretty regularly through the offseason. And I'm sure when we get to the winter meetings, you're going to hear about this pretty much all day, every day while they're at the winter meetings. Because there are other general managers that want this contract and want Ketel Marte on that contract. This is one of the most team favorable deals in all of baseball. And there are certainly teams that want and feel as if they need to bring Ketel Marte in as the last piece to get them over the hump. Or, let's face it, to build a new little run around.
GM meetings underway in Vegas today. And so this is where you leaks start to happen, rumors start to form because GMs are meeting, GMs are talking, and stuff starts to trickle out at these types of get-togethers because you put everybody under one roof and they're talking and reporters are there and they're talking to reporters and they're talking to other GMs and they're talking to other baseball executives and other people that work and are close to these situations. Information starts to flies all over the place. Hasn't even started, and you have things like this popping up in a story. And this is why I said, despite not having as much money as everybody else, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be at the center of a lot this offseason.
A lot.
They have to completely remake this team, trading Ketel Marte or not trading Ketel Marte. And I'm not sure which side of the coin I even am on when it comes to trading Ketel Marte. I would really have to see what teams are offering because I'll just use an example. Nobody thought Sauce Gardner was going to get traded last week in the NFL. But the Colts came calling with 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell, and the Jets felt like they had no choice at that point.
The price is too high. I have to do it.
If I get those types of offers for Ketel Marte, then I'm way more comfortable with the idea of trading Ketel Marte and opening up second base and needing to fill that hole. If they get those types of trade packages, then it's much easier to wrap my head around that idea. But right now, you just kind of assume the base standard level of what a trade package might look like. I just don't think I would do it. Now, again, somebody comes in with that Godfather off the top rope offer. I think you have to do it. I just don't know if a team's going to do that. You never know until somebody calls you and offers it to you. So that's why I'm not even sure how I feel about his name popping up in this story, because I don't know what the offer is. I don't know what teams are legitimately willing to give up to the Arizona Diamondbacks. If they get a solid starter, like I'm talking somebody that you see the name flash across the screen when the trade gets announced and you're like, Diamondbacks got a guy. Like when that's your instant reaction, then I can start to warm up to the idea of trading Ketel Marte. And I don't think if you traded him at the deadline, you were going to get anywhere close to that value.
No.
In August.
No, and also there's 29 other teams now that would trade for Ketel Marte.
Everybody thinks they're a contender right now. Everybody thinks they're a contender.
So, yeah, you're going to get a lot more this offseason than you would have at the trade deadline. There's no doubt about that. And listen, this could be in this story, who knows how real it is. I think we saw it with the NFL trade deadline. There were certainly teams and players that people were told were going to be traded. Like, how many times did you hear A.J. Brown was going to get moved from the Eagles?
Right.
Right. Like, that happens in sports media. But this is a player this has come up multiple times now.
Yeah, it's not going to go away.
Yeah, that's the annoying part of it. It just feels like as if it's never going to go away if they trade him or not.
I'm not annoyed by it if somebody comes in and gives you a haul for Ketel Marte. I'll do it in a heartbeat. If the deal is, we keep using the example of 2 firsts and A.D. Mitchell for Sauce Gardner because it's just the most recent trade that's happened in sports that we can kind of do this with. If you get that type of offer where you're like, man, I like this player. Like, think about it. The Jets, right? There's actually a lot of comparisons to the two situations. The Jets just gave Sauce Gardner a contract extension, just like the Diamondbacks gave Ketel Marte a contract extension a couple of weeks into the season, right? It's like 2 weeks into the season when they were in New York. Maybe it was the first week of the season where they announced a brand new deal for Ketel Marte. If the deal is a great deal, if the deal is can't miss, you got to do it, especially when you add on top of it, the Diamondbacks are not going to have a ton of money to throw around. Now, let me tell you this. I don't want to hear a deal where you get 3 of a team's top 10 prospects and I got to wait a half decade to see them contribute. I'm not interested in those kind of deals. Even though you may win the deal by getting 3 top prospects, you win the deal by landing a top 100 prospect that everybody loves in the game. I'm not waiting 2 years, 3 years for a prospect. You got to get me players that help this team right now. You do that, you can't be that upset about it. And so I'm not surprised that Ketel Marte's name popped up. I am surprised in the way it was phrased that they're definitely motivated to move him. But it's not that all surprising. I think this is all going to come down to the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to get together, if they haven't already done this. They're going to get in a room, they're going to look at one another, and they're going to say, we got to set the price now. And if teams don't meet that price, they will hang up the phone. If a team meets that price, then I think they do it. Because this team is going to need to create all the flexibility in the world. And in order to improve this roster, in order to improve this team, nothing can be considered off limits. Really, truly, nothing can be considered off limits. And so that's where I think Ketel Marte falls into. We'll listen, but you have to hit a high bar for me to be okay with my head hitting the pillow trading him. But to your point, just the beginning. We're going to hear a lot of this over the next couple of days, weeks, and months. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, is it going to go from bad to worse for the Arizona Cardinals? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
ASU women's basketball continues right here on KDUS AM 1060. For the first time this season, the Lady Sun Devils hit the road ready to take on San Diego. With new head coach Molly Miller guiding the team, ASU looks to deliver on the court. Join Jeff Munn live on the call from the Golden State. It's ASU versus San Diego this Thursday night. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. and tip-off at 7 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Water is Arizona's most valuable resource. And for over a century, Phoenix has led the way in providing reliable water services. Wherever you call home in Arizona, we all share the responsibility to conserve for tomorrow. Watch your water use, especially outdoors. Consider desert-friendly landscaping and water-saving appliances. Together, small changes can make a big difference. Learn more at phoenix.gov/water and help secure Arizona's water future. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix Water Services Department.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
Who is Farm Bureau Financial Services? At our core, we're relationship builders. We're home and auto bundlers, life insurers, farm and ranch protectors, and retirement planners. We're neighbors, community members, and friends. We're the people you can count on now and for years to come. Find a Farm Bureau agent at fbfs.com/protect. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Justin Herbert isn't showing flashes anymore. He's actually showing proof that he's one of the best quarterbacks. After a gritty Sunday night win over the Steelers, the Chargers are now 7-3. LA has been ravaged by injuries. Both their star tackles, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, are out. Running backs, Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris, also on the IR. And what was once viewed as a thin wide receiver room anchored by the aging Keenan Allen and a struggling Quentin Johnson, they've somehow transformed it into one of the league's more productive units. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when your quarterback is special. Herbert has elevated everybody around him, commanding an offense, missing its stars, and turning it into a positive. He's dissecting defenses, extending plays, and showing the poise of a veteran. They're 7-3, but the real story is how Herbert has gotten them there. This is a quarterback making the leap right in front of us. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's being called the Golden Bonanza Sweepstakes. Thanks to our friends at Mako, the DP Show, proud to be a part of this, giving listeners a chance to join us in San Francisco for Super Week. That's right, a trip for two, including round-trip coach airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, ground transportation, and VIP access to see us do our show. If that's not enough, Mako also giving away 5 free paint jobs and 10 Mako and DP Show swag bags as runner-up prizes. It's really simple to enter. You go to danpatrick.com. The best news, you can enter daily for a chance to win. You can also receive a 25% off coupon to use at any Mako shop. Visit any Mako location now for a free estimate and redeem the coupon. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, go to danpatrick.com for official rules. No purchase necessary. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Open to contiguous U.S. D.C. residents 18 or over. Ends 11/23/25.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is, who do they bring
Bring
in?
back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
We have a wild baseball story to get to in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes from now. Shocking the baseball world in the middle of football yesterday. But I do want to dive back into the Cardinals and just to worry about it going from bad to worse, because not only did they lose the game yesterday, not only is their schedule kind of unfavorable here in the next couple of weeks, but these are the list of players that got hurt in yesterday's game. Walter Nolan left the game, didn't return with a knee injury. Darius Robinson left with a groin injury, didn't come back. Zay Jones left with the Achilles. Jonah Williams had to be replaced after he went down with a shoulder, and Kelvin Beachum had to come in. Remember, team already went into yesterday. Kyler Murray on injured reserve. Didn't have Trey Benson. James Conner out for the season. Didn't have Max Melton or Will Johnson. Didn't have Mac Wilson. I mean, those were the injuries they had going into the game yesterday. They lost 2 members of their starting defensive line. Bam Knight got hurt with an ankle injury, so your 3rd or 4th running back of the year to get hurt. You lost a wide receiver in the game. Taylor Demerson went out with an ankle. Jonah Williams had to be taken out with a shoulder and replaced. I mean, starters across the board getting hurt in that game yesterday. So you've had a bad year. You're not getting the results. You're hurt. You're underperforming. It's a recipe for disaster when you look at the rest of the season. When you look at the teams that they have next up. What is it? The 49ers, you said, producer Evan, up next for the Arizona Cardinals. So a divisional game.
49ers next.
Haven't fared well in those divisional games so far this season.
You are right now winless against the division.
0-3 against the division.
0-3.
Lost a close game to the 49ers. Lost at home to Seattle. Got blown out yesterday in Seattle. Those are your 3 results so far. Argument that you should have won 2 of those 3 divisional games. Argument that if you win those 2 games, we're talking about, what, a 5-4 football team right now. More in line with where they should be this season. You can't get it done. And now you're banged up. And now you're hurt. It's going to go from bad to worse. And I'm sorry, I am not going to excuse make for this football team. They were good enough and talented enough to win that game yesterday. They have no business starting that game the way that they did. Defense can't allow that first drive to go as smoothly as it did. Can't allow a big, huge, explosive chunk play for a touchdown to producer Evan's favorite receiver. You can't have it happen. You can't allow those big plays. Seahawks get the ball, start the game. They go right down the field. They get the big chunk play. You're down 7-0. They get the big emotional momentum play of the strip sack. The game is over right there. You can't have those slow starts. You can't do it. You have enough talent to win games, but not when you dig yourself a 14-0 hole. Not with these types of injuries. You can't fight back. You want to run the football. At some point, you kind of have to abandon the run when you're down 3 scores, when you're down 4 scores. When you're down what? What was it? It was 38-7 at one point. You can't run the ball to try to get back into the game at 38-7. You need big, huge chunk plays.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they quit yesterday.
Well, I don't want to get into the, they showed fight in the second half and they scored touchdowns and they were driving to make it a potentially a 2-score game. You can't play that poorly in the first half. It's unacceptable to play that poorly against that team. You know how good they are.
I mean, we talk about the Suns starting slow and losing the first quarter. You lost it 21-0.
The game was over. The second quarter of the game was over. I almost turned it off then.
I dozed off for 15 minutes.
I don't blame you. And
it was.
And that's why my focus is on the coach. That's why I'm questioning the coach. He has to show me something here the rest of the way. Because somewhat of a rhetorical question, but if somebody wants to provide me an answer, I would love to hear it. What has he proven so far? What about Jonathan Gannon? What about his resume? What about anything from these 2.5 years makes you think he should come back for year 4? What is it? What is the thing that you want to point to? Because I have a ton of things I want to point to for why he's got to show me something over these final, 8 games of the season? The 15-28 overall record. The 3-12 record against the NFC West. The 0-6 record against the Seattle Seahawks. The constant fourth quarter collapses. Being unprepared for that game yesterday. What has Jonathan Gannon done right as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals? And it's not a mocking question. I'm legitimately looking for something. Give me a reason to keep the keys in these guys' hands. Give me something. All I can point to is things that make me want to rip the keys out of their hand and repo the car. I want the car back. Well, I'm going to sell it to somebody else. The draft picks. Marvin Harrison Jr. did not have a good game yesterday. Started to kind of turn it on later, but had the drops again early on in that game. Darius Robinson. It's too early to use this word, but that feels like it's trending more towards being a bust pick. Walter Nolan hasn't played enough. This was his second game. Leaves it hurt. Didn't have Will Johnson. Didn't have Max Melton. Those guys got hurt. I think they're good players. They've been great when they're out there. But it's too much grasping at straws for me. It's too much trying to twist yourself into a pretzel to convince yourself that these guys should get a year 4. And I hear this all the time. A lot of people, their one criticism sometimes of me on the show is I'm too much of a defender of these coaches and these managers. I'm too much of a defender of the coaches, the GMs, the executives, that I don't hold them to a high enough standard, right? I think that's one of the big criticisms I get, right? I've defended Torey Lovello, defended Mike Hazen. This is me holding the Arizona Cardinals to a high standard. This is me saying this is year 3, and I am not seeing the results that tell me this group should get another shot. And yesterday isn't the first example. Yesterday is the latest example that you post on the bulletin board as reasons to move on, as reasons of this isn't working. And then, I'm sorry, this may not be a big deal to many of you. It is to me. You get to the podium and you scoff at the idea of needing to make changes. You scoff at the idea of needing to mix things up. You got embarrassed yesterday. You're 3-6 in a year where you're supposed to be competing for a playoff spot. You're instead picking in the top 10 of the NFL draft. Where are they at in Tankathon right now? I think it's like 7 or 8. You're supposed to be competing for a playoff spot. And instead, you're thinking of who's going to be your next quarterback in the 2026 NFL draft. Where are they in the top 10?
They are currently the 11th.
11th, so they're outside the top 10.
Yeah, the teams in front of you. The Rams are 10th.
Well, that's
technically Atlanta's pick.
They have Atlanta's pick.
And then you have Cincinnati, Washington, Miami, Las Vegas, New York, Cleveland, New York, New Orleans, Tennessee. I just want to go over it, though. Tennessee fired their coach. New Orleans just hired a new one. The New York Giants have fired their head coach.
And that, I know it's the news of the day, and I know we keep making the comparison, but you are dangerously close to doing exactly what the Giants just did.
Any team in the top 10 that isn't Cleveland. Never mind. No, because Miami, I think they'll make a change at the end of the year, but they haven't done it. And technically Washington lost their quarterback, so they don't really count.
But most of the teams inside the top 10 have either made changes or just recently made changes.
Yeah, or just recently brought in somebody new. Correct. Other than those 3, yes.
That's the company you're keeping right now. That's your group of peers. And I can't help but use the Giants comparison, right? But do you know the other comparison that I just thought of in my head? Do you remember the other coordinator on that Philadelphia Eagles team that got hired?
Shane Steichen.
How are the Colts doing right now?
The Colts, by the way, in case you're wondering, are picking 32nd on Tankathon. Yeah. Obviously not their pick. It's now the New York Jets.
Yeah, but right now the tied for the number 1 seed in the AFC, right?
Yes, certainly.
When Shane Steichen got to Indianapolis, where was that roster? When Shane Steichen got to Indianapolis, how'd they do with the quarterback thing? They actually drafted a quarterback, and they got it wrong. And they pivoted. And they built a roster. What did you do? What have you done in the 3 years?
Yeah, it's almost more impressive to say that regime came in there, made their choice. That was their choice on Anthony Richardson. Missed. And then went back to the drawing board and said, okay, we know we have to make changes. You have a regime here that hasn't signed the quarterback and has been unwilling to move from him to this point.
And I know this shouldn't matter, but I can't help but feel that we get to the end of the year. If they just run this back, why should I expect anything different? Because they're going to bring in a different quarterback? Was the reason they lost yesterday because of the quarterback play? Was the reason that yesterday happened because of the quarterback play? Was the reason that they lost, what? Was it 5 consecutive games? They lost 3 consecutive fourth quarters? Was the reason for that because of their quarterback play? That's where that argument falls on deaf ears for me. You're going to get to the end of the season and run it back, and everybody is going to feel underwhelmed by that. Shane Steichen and the Indianapolis Colts, let's call it like it is. They took Daniel Jones off the scrap heap, and he's an MVP candidate, and they're 8-2. Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate. They traded 2 first-round picks for a corner. Why? Coaching matters. You see it when you watch the Indianapolis Colts play that they have a coach who knows what he's doing. You don't feel the same about the Arizona Cardinals. And so, again, we had a great week last week. A lot of great decisions from the Arizona Cardinals. A great result, a great decision to stick with Jacoby Brissett. All of it gone. We are back to the beginning. We are back to, you got to show me something in the final 8 weeks. And even then, I don't know if it's enough time. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us here today. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, it was a big day for Major League Baseball yesterday, but not in a good way. We'll talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. The Lumberjacks host the Cal Poly Mustangs. Our coverage begins at noon on your home for Lumberjack football.
Skips his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield. My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now, receive 0.9% financing for up to 60 months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
makes the holidays the most wonderful time of the year at the Disneyland Resort? It's seeing the skies brightened with unforgettable fireworks, gathering with family for a Christmas fantasy parade, taking in the music, food, and fun of Disney Festival of Holidays, watching the dazzling world of color happiness, and so much more. It's a time filled with joy when the place you know and love is wrapped up in the holiday spirit. And it's made all the more happy during the Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration. So what are you waiting for? The holidays begin here from November 14th through January 7th. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
It's the most wonderful time of the
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Marte Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can receive up to $10,000 bonus cash on Kia's most popular EVs, like the 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9.
The name to remember, Marte Kia, Marte Kia.
Does your student struggle in a traditional school setting? For nearly 25 years, Primavera Online has helped Arizona K-12 students thrive with an accredited tuition-free education from home. Learn more at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Got the leftovers coming up in about, 10 minutes from now. It's a story that shocked the baseball world yesterday because we got the results of knowing that the Cleveland Guardians pitchers Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, who were placed on administrative leave by the sport of baseball, we learned yesterday that they were charged with fraud, conspiracy, and bribery that stemmed from a scheme, an alleged scheme, to rig individual pitches where there was a group of, bettors that had direct communication with Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. And there were text messages between Clase and the bettors. And each pitch, apparently, Clase and Ortiz were getting paid, $5,000, $7,000. I'm reading from the ESPN story. Clase arranged with bettors as early as May 2023 to throw specific pitches for balls so the gambler could place prop bets and profit. Ortiz, prosecutor said, joined the scheme in June 2025, and between the two, gamblers won at least $450,000 wagering on their pitches, while Clase and Ortiz were given kickbacks for their participation. Now, both guys could face up to 20 years for the wire fraud, 20 years for other wire fraud conspiracy, 20 years for the money laundering, 5 years for conspiracy to influence sporting events by bribery, and they're looking at 65 years in prison for all of this. Now, they have both denied the allegations, denied the charges, and so we'll see what happens there. And obviously, the disclaimers, we sports betting ads play on this radio station. We do a pick segment on Friday where we pick games. If you'll notice, the one thing we don't pick on Fridays for the pick segment. We do totals and we do spreads. We don't do player props. We don't do that. This is a problem for all of sports. There's a problem in basketball and it is a problem in baseball. And the difference between the two, the difference between the Terry Rozier story in the NBA and this is there's direct communication between Clase and the bettor. And there was one instance in particular, and I don't know if you saw this, Producer Evan, in the 23-page indictment, but there was a pitch that Emmanuel Clase threw to Andy Pajes of the Dodgers, and he swung at the pitch, so it wasn't a ball. And Clase communicated 10 minutes after the game with the bettor, talking about how Andy Pajes screwed it up. How blatant can you be? How stupid can you be? And add on top of it, you're doing it for $5,000 every time. Do you know how much money Emmanuel Clase was due to make in 2025? He was due to be paid in cash. I think it's like $6.4 million. I looked at Spotrac where they do these contracts. 6.4, I think, was the number that I saw. Do you know how many pitches Emmanuel Clase threw? Something like 700. I ran the math yesterday. Each pitch he threw in 2025, if he got paid all of his money, was worth $8,000. He got paid less to throw these pitches intentionally outside of the zone than it actually earned him on a per pitch basis. He threw away all that money for $5,000. Maybe in some cases, $7,000. I mean, just the epitome of stupidity if this is actually what happened. And then you're texting about it. I mean, the indictment alleges that he was texting with the bettor during the game. These text messages were being sent like immediately after the game, or he was going to the clubhouse and talking during games with this person. This is miles apart from the NBA story because of the direct communication that is alleged, that is proved, that they have the screenshots, they have these text messages. This is a bad look for baseball. It is a bad look for sports in general. I mean, we are going to get to a point where player props of this caliber just need to be taken off the board. They just cannot be offered. It's too easy. You're seeing it. It's too easy. If $5,000 for somebody who signed a $20 million contract extension, he did it for $5,000. If it's that easy to corrupt and to get a player to be a part of that scheme, the entire sports integrity is up in the air. You can't have it. This cannot fly. To think both of these guys threw away all of this money and 65 years in prison for $5,000. What were they thinking, allegedly? What were they thinking? And now baseball and sports in general have a reckoning when it comes to these relationships that they have with these sports betting companies. These professional sports organizations take this money and they allow these books to be official sports betting partners of these sports. You need there to be integrity. You need people to think that the sport is on the up and up. And so if I'm a commissioner of a sport, I take the step today and I say, I am publicly asking these sports books to not allow these player props. But the problem is that's where the sports books make a lot of their money. That's the dirty little secret to all of this. They make money on people putting together 5-leg parlays.
On so-and-so to hit a homer or have a hit.
Or this guy to rush for this many yards. And again, in the interest of transparency and integrity, if I bet on player props of individual players, yeah. If I think a player's going to have a big game, I'll bet. I'm not doing it with inside knowledge, though. I'm not doing it with
that's a
pipeline to the player.
That's a difference of the prop bets are fun. I get it. Like I love the first touchdown bets or the touchdown bets. Those are fun.
But if the byproduct of them is the integrity of the sport,
then it's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore.
And honestly, it's mainly these unders, right? It's unders. It's these individual, like pitch by pitch, the speed of the pitch, ball or strike, where it's pretty easy for a pitcher if he wants to just slip, throw one by, not even close, competitive for a ball, right? It's easy to influence that action. If you have somebody's yardage total over, it's kind of hard to influence that. Unless you're getting to every member of the defense. You see how it's harder to kind of rig that stuff? The stuff we're seeing in sports right now is the easy stuff to rig. It's these unders. It's these individual moments where one person can influence the outcome. That's the stuff that's going to be under a microscope. And it's a massive, massive problem. And I don't know. You know what my other thought was yesterday when I saw this? Do we think it's really just Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz?
Read my mind. Is it really just those two?
Are those the only two guys that were offered this? Allegedly? Or are there more? That's the boogeyman under the bed for all these sports right now. This is what's public. What don't we know? What are we going to learn here over the next 6 to 8 months? The next couple of years? I mean, you got people, and I don't know if it's tongue-in-cheek, but you got people questioning because this scheme started in 2023 for Emmanuel Clase, he had a really bad postseason in 2024. An elite closer had a randomly bad postseason. People, and I'm sorry, but the door's open for this. For people to be like, was that on the up and up? Yankees won that series against the Guardians that year. Was that on the up and up? Not saying anything bad of the Yankees, but was Clase tanking postseason games as well? Or is that where he drew the line? You see where this becomes a very slippery slope? You see where you can't put the genie back in the bottle? And that's why I think you have to cut these off. I don't think there's a problem with money lines and spreads and overs and unders for football games and totals, because you have entire teams. You can't really corrupt those things. But these individual performances, these individual unders, these individual, pitch outcomes, that's where I think we're just scratching the surface, to be honest with you. I think this is only just the beginning. This was bad yesterday.
I mean,
this broke in the middle of football, and it was the talk of social media.
It's crazy the things you can bet on. I mean, remember you and I were messing around for the first playoff game?
Yeah.
And very candidly, first pitch, you could bet on the velocity of
Tariq Skubel's first pitch. You're like, let's have some fun, right?
Yeah.
Because, yes, it is fun. But you have to weigh the pros and the cons if you are a sport. That responsibility doesn't fall on you and I, right? That responsibility doesn't fall on us. We're watching the sports. We like to have a little action. We like to bet on some fun things. We're goofing around. It's fun money. If we lose it, we lose it. If we win, it's great. These sports, though, they have integrity to uphold for the entire sport. I'm just having some fun watching a baseball game. There's a difference between the two. And that's why I think you're going to see commissioners band together. I mean, Congress wants Adam Silver to testify. You don't think Rob Manfred's going to be called in to have a conversation? I mean, it's a bombshell, and I think it is just the beginning. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us. We got one more before we're done here today on the program. We call it The Leftovers. It's all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the show. We'll get to it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
We watch these lawyers get on TV and say they're going to treat their clients like family, when we know they put secret mandatory quotas on their lawyers. That means your own lawyer pressures you into a premature, terrible result. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. We don't set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome and by each client's happiness.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Bad Omens. Do you feel love? North American Tour 2026. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com. A1 from day one.
Start saving early and get ready for the year's biggest deals at the Living Spaces Black Friday event. Discover stylish, modern sofas starting at just $295. Elevate your gatherings with dining sets from $295. Upgrade your bedroom with queen beds starting at $195. And sink into relaxation with ultra-comfy recliners at prices you won't believe. Plus, pay no interest for 24 months on select purchases with your good credit. Get it all before Thanksgiving with free shipping as soon as next day. Only at the Living Spaces Black Friday event.
Living Spaces.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan gene, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the Lunch Break. Thanks for hanging out with us. We know you have choices. We appreciate you making us a part of your day. All the stories we didn't get to, we call it the leftovers. I'll start with a question from the YouTube chat. It's all code asked, are the Suns getting the big screen tonight, Chris? Or is that NFL road team going into Green Bay and beating the Packers by 20-plus points in sub-freezing temperatures? I'm just going to make it very clear here. Until further notice, if the Suns are playing, they're getting the big screen.
Yeah, plus you can't even watch Monday Night Football. So
I don't. I have YouTube TV set up in the living room. Oh, that's right.
So they have to get the big screen.
They're going to have to get the big screen because I don't know how I'm going to watch the game tonight. I forgot that we've got the YouTube TV fiasco going on because I don't really watch a ton of TV in general.
Other than sports.
That's it.
The only thing that really, honestly, it becomes a problem with is, for me, is the Monday night game. And this week I wanted to watch LSU Alabama. Couldn't do that.
Yeah, that was tough as well.
It was really tough. Now I'm just realizing, never mind.
You're going to have to go out tonight.
Yes. So I was here Saturday. Right, I was doing the Rising game.
Yes.
Tough loss.
Unfortunate. 122nd minute.
Yeah.
Tough.
Crazy play. Great call here on KDUS.
Oh, great job. Way to plug the great work that Ryan and co do for that.
Anyway, I was like, I brought my computer in to have football.
Yeah. Well, no, that TV should have, you were okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't turn the TV on. Oh, it's brutal. Dude, you have a TV in there.
I know.
ABC and ESPN and everything.
It has cable.
And literally, I see the remotes in front of you.
Yes.
They're right there. That's tough.
Yeah. Really, really tough.
Now I can't read what Brian in the YouTube chat said. I can't read it. I cannot read it. But just know I'm familiar with your game, Brian. I'm familiar with the game. Okay? I'm familiar. But I cannot in good conscience read that on the air. So this is why you got to hang out in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to see what Brian said.
It's nothing bad. If I wanted to, I could read it out loud. There's nothing offensive about it. There's nothing vulgar about it. I just don't.
You're just not gonna give that plug,
right? I'm just
on
not,
the YouTube,
right?
Well, speaking of Monday Night Football, it is
huge.
Eagles at Packers.
You want to talk about a huge game for the program?
There are 4 points on the line.
Huge. Right
Technically, by the way, there are 6 points on the line because our guy Dallin has the under for 2 points.
He's won already because
he has won because you can only get 3 points.
I can only get 3 points. He's tied me, which is a win. So
don't worry, Dallin. I already put your info in.
You're great then. It's fantastic. So this is huge for us because right now, as things stand, we are tied. We've both got 2 points this week so far. If you win this game tonight,
then I am back to just 2 points behind you in total.
And I think the way we phrase it is you're back within a 1 week striking distance where 1 week could put you in front. Whereas if I win and I get the 1 point play of Green Bay minus 1.5, I will have a 6 point lead.
And then I would need a full week just to tie you.
You need a full week just to tie me, which means I get everything wrong. You get everything right. So I earn myself a little bit of a cushion here. Huge game for the show.
It's a big one.
It's a huge one. I think this is probably the biggest game we've had for the picks thus far this season.
Certainly. It really is.
Plus, your team's playing. By the way, Code is suggesting to just get an HD antenna. He said indoor ones are cheap and work well in most places in the greater Phoenix area.
Can I be honest, Code?
Okay.
So I had one.
You had one? That's past tense.
Yes. You can't, the picture stinks.
Well, then maybe you're just not doing it right.
You think so?
That's certainly a possibility. Was it an HD antenna or was it just an over-the-air antenna?
See, now I don't know.
See, now you.
Now I don't know.
Just go to Walmart, Target. They've got them.
Yeah, my dad ordered one from Amazon so that he
you?
could watch at home tonight.
Okay, for him.
Yeah.
You can just go to the store and get one.
Yeah, I'm also not worried. I'm just going to go out and watch it like, some kind of restaurant. If anybody has any suggestions, of places, great places.
It's kind of late in the show to ask those. We've got literally 50 seconds. Felt like you could have asked that a little earlier in the program.
I just thought of it right now.
Oh, yeah.
All right, are you taking the Packers? Do you really honestly think the Packers cover 1.5 tonight?
I think the Packers win the game.
Okay.
I wouldn't make the pick if I didn't believe in it. I mean, I was kind of bullied into it. I kind of felt like you guys
That's why I asked.
But no, I go Packers. Go Pack go tonight in this Monday night game. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome is next. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.